friends, welcome to my channel. So in the today's lecture we are going to start one new concept, that is SQL. Okay, the full form of SQL is structured query language. So what is the need of studying this topic and how SQL queries are helpful for us? Okay, so in the first video of database management system, I told you that we have to make interaction between the front end and the back end. Okay, we have to make the interaction between the front end and the back end. So let's suppose I am having one form. I made it using HTML, okay, and I used JavaScript to make this form. Okay, let's suppose I have two fields in this form, name and email ID. Okay, I have these two fields in my form. Okay, and what I want, what is my requirement, that whatever name and email ID I am entering in this field, like this, abc@gmail.com. I want to save all this name and email ID into the backend. Okay, this form is in the form of graphical user interface. This form is actually your front end, which is accessible to the user, which is accessible to the public. Okay, and at the back end we are having one database in which all of the names and email IDs you are entering are going to be stored like this, name and email ID. Okay, so when I press this insert button, okay, we are going to execute some SQL query. When I am clicking on this button, what I am doing, I am running some SQL query which is helpful for making the interaction between front end and back end. What I am doing, whenever I am clicking on this button insert, whatever information is present in these two fields is going to be stored in the database, in the back end. Okay, so SQL queries we basically write to store the information in the database tables. Okay, because whatever information you are entering in these fields, it is temporary. Okay, firstly you are entering the details of name Aarti. Once you inserted the details of Aarti, now you are changing the name here. Let's suppose Neha, and this is her email ID. Okay, so you are changing the information you are entering in the fields. Okay, so database is a kind of permanent storage. It is a kind of a permanent video, we are going to discuss the basic SQL queries. Okay, so in this video, let me tell you which SQL queries we will be studying. We will be studying create, we will be studying insert, we will be studying delete, and the fourth one is update. Okay? So what we are doing, we are making a Gmail form. Okay, so firstly what we do when we have to make our account on the Gmail, first step what we need to do, we are going to register ourselves on the Gmail. Okay, the first step to make your account on the Gmail is we have to register. We are going to fill one form and we are going to register ourselves. Okay, so let's suppose the registration form of the Gmail looks like this. Firstly, I am going to enter my name. Second, I am going to enter my username. Third, I am going to enter the password. Okay, so these three fields are there. In actual registration form of Gmail, we have many number of fields, but just for the sake of simplicity, I am assuming these three fields only. Okay, so first of all, what we want to insert all of this information into the table. Okay, wherever we will be inserting all this fields value into the table. So my first step is I have to create a table. Okay, so my first step is creation of table. Okay, so how many number of attributes I want in my table? Okay, I have to create a table, but how many number of attributes I want in my table? That really depends on the number of fields you have. Okay, so I have these three fields. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am going to create the three attributes: name, username, and third one is password. Okay, so I created the table corresponding to the number of fields I am having in my front end. This is my front end. This is my back end. So by looking at the number of fields I am having in the front end, the same number of attributes I am creating in my back end table. So the name of this table, let's suppose, is accounts detail. Accounts detail. Okay, so this is my first step. First step is I have to create a table. Before I can insert the data into the table, firstly we have to create the table. So what is going to be my SQL query for the creation of the table is create. Okay, create this word we will be using. Create, what I want to create? I want to create a table. I want to create a table. What is the name of my table? Okay, you would be writing here table name. What is my table name? Account detail. Account detail. Okay, create table, table name. Now, what are the attributes you want in your table? Okay, so I want name attribute. What kind of data type you want for name? You want to enter integer value or you want to enter character value? Okay, as name is a character, it is going to store your character value. So I am giving here data type. And what is the maximum length I could have for the name? I am saying that the maximum length can be 20. The name length shouldn't be exceed than 20. Okay, next field is username. The next attribute I want is username. And what kind of data type I want for username? I want varchar. And the length I want is, let's suppose 20. Okay, the length I want is 20. This is the domain which I am setting for each and every attribute. Okay, and what is the password? Okay, the next attribute I am having is password. And what kind of data type you want for password? Varchar. And what is the length of this field at the maximum? 20. Okay, this field. Okay, this is the syntax we basically use for creating the table. Okay, so this is the simple way of creation of table. Okay, so by looking at the attribute fields, I have created my table by using this SQL query. Okay, so we have studied our create SQL query. Now, what I want to do, I want to perform the insert operation. Okay, what I want to do, I want to register. When you are registering yourself on Gmail, whatever information you are entering, all that information is getting stored in the backend, in the database. Okay, let's suppose my name is Aarti and let's suppose username is abc@gmail.com. Okay, let's suppose password is 1234. Okay, so when I am registering myself on the Gmail, first of all I am going to register myself. Okay, so what I am going to do, when I will be clicking on this register button, what you are going to do, you are running your SQL query. Okay, with the help of that query, whatever data you are writing in these fields is going to be inserted in the database. Okay, when we are clicking on button, which query? Insert query we are running. Okay, insert SQL query we are running. Let me show you what is the insert SQL query. Insert into insert into account detail. Okay, insert into your table name. Insert into account detail. Okay, what are the various attributes you have in your account detail? Name, username and password. Okay, insert into account detail. What does it mean? We want to insert data into our table whose name is account detail. And in what order we want to insert the information? In this order of attributes. Okay, values. What values I want? These values. Okay, what is the name? Aarti. And what is the username? abc@gmail.com. And password is 1234. Okay, so this way we are going to insert our data. Okay, this way whatever information we are entering in this field is going to be stored at the back end. Like this, Aarti abc@gmail.com and 1234. Okay, so each and every user who want to make his account on the Gmail, first of all, that user has to register himself on the Gmail. And whatever accounts he or she is making, all that account detail is getting stored in the database at the back end. Okay, this way. Okay, so why I am using this attribute's name? Okay, if I even in this case, if I don't use this attribute's name, still it is going to work. Still this syntax of SQL query is going to work. So what is the need to write the attributes in the SQL query? Because by default, it is going to store all the values in this order. Firstly, this is name, this is username, and this is password. By default, it gets values in the order. Okay, but if I want to change the order, let's suppose I want to enter firstly name value, then I want to password value, then I want to enter the username value. In that case, we should take the attributes name here. Okay, if you just want to store the data in the same sequence in which you have written your attributes, then you don't need to mention the attribute name in the SQL query. But if you want to change the order, okay, so then you have to mention the attributes name in the SQL query. Then what is going to be my data? 1, 2, 3, 4 abc@gmail.com. Okay, this way we will be inserting our data. Okay, if you are changing the order of these attributes while inserting the data, then you have to mention the name of the all attributes. Okay, so this is basically our insert query. Okay, this is how insert query work. Okay, so detail. Neha, BCD 1 2 3 4 5. So Neha, bcd@gmail.com, and we have 1 2 3 4 5. Okay. So now what I want to do, whenever you make your account on the Gmail, it is not that your account is going to remain forever. Many users delete their accounts. Okay. So whenever we have to delete our data from the database, we have to use the delete SQL query. I want to delete my Gmail account. I don't want to keep my Gmail account anymore. So what I will be doing, I am going to delete my Gmail account. Okay. And what is the form you will be getting for the Gmail account deletion? You will be getting a one separate form if you have to delete your account. You will be entering your username and you will be entering your password. Okay, then you will be deleting your account. Let's suppose I want to delete my account. My username is bcd@gmail.com. and my password is 12345. I want to delete this Gmail account. So what I will be doing, I will be clicking on this delete button. When we will be clicking on this delete button, at the back end, one SQL query is going to run, which is going to delete this account from the database. Okay. So what is that SQL query? Delete from table name. From which table you want to delete? I want to delete from the account detail. Delete from account detail where user name is equal to bcd@gmail.com and password is equal to 12345. Okay. When this SQL query is going to run, when we will be clicking on this delete button, then this account detail is going to be removed from your database. Now there is no account existing for this username. Okay, its account detail has been removed from the database. Okay, so this is how we're going to delete our account from the Gmail. Okay, so next is how we are going to update the data. Okay, so even if you look at, we see the options in Gmail. username. So it is going to pick username from there. Okay, so at that corresponding username, it is going to update your password from 1234 to 12345. Okay, so that is the real use of update operation. And what is the SQL query we use to change the value from one to another? Okay, so when I am going to click on this update button, one SQL query at the backend is going to run. So the SQL query is update. Which table you want to update? Because you will be having lots of table in your database. So which table you want to update? We should have the knowledge of that. So update account detail set. I want to set. Okay, I want to set the password is equal to 12345. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to change the password. Okay, where your username is equal to abc@gmail.com. Okay, so username, where this username is present, we are going to update the value here. Okay, the password is getting changed from 1234 to 12345. Okay, so this way we are going to run our SQL queries. And let me tell you one more thing. Now you have registered yourself on the Gmail. Okay, now you want to log in. Now you want to log in into the Gmail. Now you are logging into the Gmail. You have registered yourself. So whatever username and password you are entering here, it is firstly going to find this username and password into this database. Okay, so if your username and password gets matched with the data present in the database, only then you can log in. Okay, only then you can log in. If you suppose write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, you cannot log in into the Gmail account because in the database your data stored is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you are entering here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is a mismatch. For logging in, whatever data you are writing in your front end should get matched with the data stored in the database. Only then you can log in. Okay, so this was the basic queries of the SQL. I hope that you are clear with the basics of SQL. If you have any query, I have mentioned my email ID in the description box. You can contact me on that email ID. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe my channel.